Well, it's day 3. We're at the Gaydon Museum.
Just to be clear, we're on R2-D2 droid mode, where I am the camera here.
But it's a relentless pull.
Yeah, because that's what the W8 or the W16 they put these now. Yeah.
I mean, when you cut it back, it almost looks like a normal size car. I mean, the height wise, but the side of it. With the amount of wood and leather and half a tree and a couple of cows. Heated
Lucky.
side windows. Look at the soft handles. Look. Heated side windows. So it's not a heated front screen.
No.
So they can see where they're going when they're drifting.
Oh god, we're in auto shite heaven. Oh, now here's something I feel TVRs could benefit with. Massive side pipes. Is that a mini MR2?
A mini rear end. Oh, right.
Oh, do you know, we're here with the TVR club,
Yep.
and we've got something close to the 50 hours, and I'm dreading the edit. So you work here then?
Yeah.
You've not got the worst job in the world?
No.
No.
Yeah.
It's, how do you find it?
It's great. Yeah, it's good fun. Yeah.
So how's your knowledge and all the sort of exhibits and what?
Encyclopedia.
Right.
The ones I know about. The ones I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, and it tends to be more the ones I'm interested in. So if I'm interested in it, then I know a fair bit about it.
Yeah.
You know, like the XJ13, I can bore you to death for hours on it. I mean, the history of this it goes back to when the D-Types had finished at Le Mans.
Okay.
And they were developing the next Le Mans car, so the XJ13. But of course, William Lyons was more interested in his production cars, and he just didn't have enough money.
Right.
So he said, no, we've got to stop the development of it. He couldn't afford to have the production cars and the racing cars, so he decided to stop doing racing stuff, so it never got beyond being a prototype, and of course it uses the V12,
right,
which went into the saloons and eventually the E-Type.
Yeah.
But the interesting story about it is that when he'd issued that order that no more development work would be done, Norman Jewis, who was the legendary development driver, it's a big shame that this car isn't being developed. You know, it's too good. So one Sunday, when they were doing some work at Myra, he got the guys to put it on the truck, and he started doing a bit of driving around the circuit at Myra. You know, doing a bit of development work on it. And of course, William Lyons got to hear of this. Jewis, my office, and gave him a right dressing down for it, for countermanding a direct order not to do any development work on it. Jewis was leaving the room, and William Lyons sort of went up to him and said, well, what was it like? So William Lyons had a think and said, well, tell you what, you can carry on the development work of it at weekends in your own time.
Okay.
Well, so that was his punishment.
So the skunk works was formed, so to speak.
So, he did do a bit more work on it. But they used the car at Myra for the press launch.
Right.
So they got all the press people there, and Norman was there driving it round the circuit. And I've heard different explanations: either a rear tyre blew or a axle collapsed. Something happened, and the car end over ended 3 or 4 times and was a complete wreck. And Norman just sort of got out of it, and then carried on his day. And but that was it was rebuilt afterwards by apprentices. Yeah, and he still drives. He's 90 or 94, 95. He's still driving today. And he quite often drives. I don't know if he does now, but it's not long since he's driven that and that.
The only thing I actually know about the Jag V12s is the big controversy over the engine not going in the XJ220. And obviously lots of people demanded their money back from that. And
Oh yes, that was quite controversial at the time, and also it was all because of the 220s there. Because of the financial crash or the recession.
Well, they claim that, but I mean, being honest, a twin turbo V6 with a homologation history with a 6-4 behind it is probably a better choice than an antiquated V12. But
I don't know, there'd be different driving, but it's the V6. Having been a passenger in that car, I can vouch for the fact that it goes pretty well.
When were you a passenger on that? How did you angle that one?
A couple of weeks back, we looking and thinking, well, that XJ220's got a passenger seat. So if they drove it here, they've got to drive it back again.
Chance your luck.
So I'm sort of thinking,
as a patron of the museum, it's your rescibility to make sure it gets driven safely.
So I'm sort of thinking, how can I get back from the museum when they've driven it back here? At the end of the day, I jumped in the passenger seat and he gave me a trip back in it. Wonderful thing. You wouldn't want to go far in it. It's not very comfortable.
No,
but don't record that.
I think most. No, I don't think that would be a shock to many folk that a supercar is not a comfortable place to spend the whole day. But oh wow.
But yes, sensational. I mean, and the guy wasn't doing any histrionics with it. But it went pretty well. The 220, how that came about, is the group of guys who were just enthusiasts, which is how Jaguar designers were, and they started what they call the Saturday Club.
Okay.
And in the Saturday Club, they started developing this supercar. And it was only afterwards that the management saw this thing. I thought, actually, you could make something of that.
Yeah.
So it went from being the Saturday Club to being
the Monday to Friday.
And then they gave it to Tom Wilkinshaw, and that's where the controversy came about with the
engine choice.
With the engine, Very interesting stuff. But things like the Rover BRM.
Right.
Because somebody's been in it. That goes.
Really?
That works.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time getting it back working again.
Right.
Took the engine out and it went to Loughborough, I think it is. There's a couple of guys there who were ex-Rolls-Royce people, so know about aero engines, and they've rebuilt the engine and made it work.
Right. Okay.
And they've used it several times. Went round the track at Alton Park, Carfest North a couple of years ago,
right.
And a couple of years ago it went round the track at Silverstone Classic.
Yeah. I presume it's not like
it to Le Mans.
Jumping in and turning the key to get this thing to start.
No.
Long drawn out procedures.
It is, yeah. I mean, in fact, jumping in and turning the key, which is how you normally start something. With that thing, you have to push the button and
start the
you
primer
keep your finger on the button until it actually goes, and you can hear it sort of slowly winding up, and it has to get to a certain point. I don't know the details, but get to a certain point before you can actually take the starter off it and let it try and run on its own.
Right.
Oh, it's a bigger thing to get going.
Come on, shows.
Yeah. No,
I don't think indoors is going to work.
No, it's the
yeah. So we believe you now.
Yep.
You know a few things.
Yeah, well, as I said, I know what I know, and if it's something I'm interested in, then I know about it.
Fair play.
That's it.
And if it's an interesting story, then that's the sort of thing you remember, isn't it? Yeah.
That's why you do it. Yeah. skid right here, that'd be great. Different.
You don't shoving their faces at the windows of the cars. Well, we've seen that coming down, didn't we, Robin? So yeah, they're head turners. If you go out and buy anything else, do they get the same reaction? No.
Nah.
They don't. You know, there are a lot more reliable cars out there, but not the same fun. Quiet. You know what I mean? The fun's in the rumble.
Don't get me wrong, it sounds good.
Yeah, it's but from a straight six, is it? It's in then. But it sounds good, but it's not got a rumble.
No.
That's the difference.
It's like, who's your favourite Bond? It's what generation you grew up with. Makes you think,
that's right.
what one would you go for?
Well, to me, it's all Sean.
Aye.
I like Sean Connery. He was a good Bond man. And obviously the old DB4, was it?
DB5.
DB5, was it? That's class.
So you're comparing the Wedge to Sean.
And then you get Craig with the DB7, was it? Or
DB9?
nine?
DB9, okay.
Class
9 or a
car.
Vanquish, wasn't it?
Class
car as
well.
I thought sure it was a 9, but I might be wrong.
You know, so I don't know why Bonds didn't go for a TVR, just to...
Maybe they will in the next one.